you tell me your name and the subjects in which you attempted a major work for your HSC?
I'm Callum Denmead.
I'm Bethany Philpott.
My name is Sarah Tremolata.
My name's Timmy Manson.
My name is Helena Westport.
I'm Ben Pope.
My name's Micah Hoffman.
I'm Katie Spencer and I did Design and Technology and Industrial Technology Timber.
Did Visual Arts and Industrial Tech Multimedia.
Art and Multimedia major works.
Did Society and Culture.
A short story composition for Extension to English.
Extension to English and one for Society and Culture.
Multimedia and Drama.
And I did a major work in Design and Technology.
Can you tell us a little bit about your major works in those subjects and what was your inspiration?
I made an animation called Plant Boy. It came from kind of my transition from moving from my old school to Freshwater, where I had to grow, learn how to integrate to my new environment. And so the film's kind of about that. It has this character, Plant Boy, who has a plant for his head and he has to work out how to fit into his new environment.
Video based on live footage of organisation helping youths with mental problems like depression.
I am a gamer and I believe that gaming is going to become a big industry, and so I wanted to talk about how gaming is going to become an industry in the future, and I wanted to shed some light on it for people who may not know about it.
It took me a while to work out where I wanted to go with it. I started off, I was going to do an animation, and you can see in my diary there's all this other stuff that doesn't even relate to what I ended up doing. But in the end I just explored with paints and I found that I really enjoyed that, and so I started doing more acrylic paintings of landscapes and they came together really nicely.
I wanted to do a series of drawings inspired by my grandparents, but I wasn't sure how I was going to represent them. So that develops later on that I represented their life together and the similarities they had through objects of their own and parallels.
My pip was about when comments became news. So how the rise of people on the internet having their opinion, and when did people's opinions become something worth telling everyone about.
For Society and Culture, I did it about the changing nature of journalism with its influence of infotainment and humorous news in society.
For Design and Technology I did a ski aid which allowed you to rotate without getting blisters, long distance.
I did a bee habitat, which is kind of like a place for bees to nest and lay their eggs so they can increase their numbers because they're becoming extinct.
For my Industrial Technology Timber, I made a bathroom vanity.
I chose to research fate and free will, and I was originally inspired by a childhood memory of choose your own adventure books, where it's turn to page 70 if you want to go through the doorway, for example.
I did it about the ripple effect of war on family members and its perpetual reverberation throughout society.
Time management was a really big one.
So there was definitely time management. I have to admit a lot of them I did do last minute, but I regret it.
Check-up assessments where you had to hand in components, those definitely got you stressed.
Finding research that was relevant, to the topic, that was hard because you'd become quite sidetracked and finding new information about stuff that was cool and things that were interesting.
Editing, for sure, and coming down to the last leg and perfecting your work.
Editing process, I found it so hard to cut words out and really narrow it down to something specific of my topic.
Balancing two major works was hard, except I started quite early at the beginning of the year, which was good so that I didn't at the end freak out because I hadn't done much.
For me, the biggest thing was confidence in what I was doing, because I had some doubts about whether or not I was going to create something that I would be personally proud of, but a big part of my process was pushing past that and then finding confidence in my own ability that what I have made is of a satisfactory level, and that was partly because I tried to avoid staying complacent because I got complacent in the early stages and it sort of bit me.
Experimentation and testing is pretty annoying because a lot of the time you don't actually know 100% what you need to be testing, so try to get that under control really early because otherwise you'll end up having to go back and repeat like a billion experiments.
Starting early and compounding your efforts. You want to be making lots of little efforts over a long time rather than doing the bulk of the work towards the end when it's stressful and you can't do your best almost.
Focus on them a lot at the very start of the year when there's no pressure from other subjects.
Definitely don't leave it to the last minute, even though I did.
You can find all your sources first, you'll be set and you'll be able to work through it faster.
Start as early as possible with both or any of your major works.
Obviously, some people will procrastinate, some people will doubt themselves and whether or not they can really do it, but you really can.
And also choose something you really like to do so you're always motivated to do it.
Just have fun with it, I guess.